Hey yo guys, what's up and welcome back to Toe Tags Metal Reviews, and today we're getting our first impressions of the new album from Sindar called Splintered Light. So Sindar is a band who you guys probably haven't heard of. They approached us, asked us if we'd do the review. We told them our deal, which is send us a couple shirts and we'll review your album. So that's what we're doing. They sent us the shirts, pretty cool design, this is it. And yeah, these guys are a two-piece band formed in 2017. And anything else you want to tell them about these guys?
So we haven't listened to anything from this band yet.
Yeah.
They're still a pretty relatively new band, but they identify themselves as prog, death, and post-black metal, which is it's a really interesting mix. That's like hearing those three, like, how's that gonna go? They're also on Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, YouTube, and Apple. They don't have Twitter.
Yeah.
But those places you can find them, those 5 places. So, we like I said, we haven't heard anything from this band.
We're going in completely blind here.
Yeah, blind as a bat, and we're gonna check out Splintered Light for the very first time in its entirety. We'll give you guys the first impressions, so stay put.
Okay guys, we're back. We finished listening to Splintered Light, and this was a long album. This was actually the longest album we've ever done on this channel at 1 hour and 18 minutes. And that, to me, was to a bit of a fault. I feel like there's a lot of filler on this album, mainly because a lot of it did kind of just sound like the same stuff. You know, a lot of, acoustic grooves, some piano grooves, just, riding these flows of very easy listening, soothing kind of vibes. This is a very easy listening album with some really heavy blackened kind of elements sprinkled in, but for the most part, this is a very calm album. That's not a bad thing, it's just different tastes for different people. If you're not into the calm stuff, this is probably one you're gonna wanna pass up. But I do think there's stuff in here that a lot of you guys will really enjoy. So some highlight tracks for me. There's 12 tracks on this album. I'll tell you a couple of my highlights. Track number 3, Rise of the Uruk-hai. My pronunciation is probably butchered. That was a highlight track for me. It starts off with this church bell. It has a harsh vocal. He switches between harshes and cleans. A lot of the cleans were not really vocals. It was just like vocal instrumentation, like a lot of just humming kind of things, or uhs and ahs and stuff like that. Not much vocal lyrics when it came to the cleans until later on in the album. But the harsh vocals had lyrics. Durin's Bane, which was number 5. The Fellowship, which was number 7. That was a cool song, actually. That's the one that started with the nature sounds. So I had this sample of nature sounds. They had some 5/4 group section. The time signature switch up. You got a lot of 5/4s, 6/8s, 4/4s, obviously. So they're switching up the time signatures here and there. There's just a lot going on. Really, there's a lot going on.
However, the Fellowship, the Fellowship and Durin's Bane, those were my highest rated tracks, but I feel like both of those songs also highlighted one of the biggest issues with this album. In Durin's Bane, I think there's like a few main sections of that song, and they're all good, which is why it's one of my highest rated tracks, because every part of that song I enjoyed. But every part of that song went on for a bit longer than I feel like they should have, because they're just kind of just jamming this one thing.
Yeah.
And that's it for a while, and if you feel like, okay, when are they gonna go to the next section or do something else, And I feel like they were just kind of padding for time at that point. So like that song could certainly be shorter, but every part of it was good. It's just every part kind of went on for a bit too long.
Staying on Durin's Bane, it does have some elements about it. Like there's an acoustic rhythm with the electric lead, which was a pretty cool dynamic. The vocalist in this song specifically sounds a bit like Nathan Explosion, Dethklok, which I thought was cool. I like that vocal. There's elements of this song that gave me Opeth vibes. There's some elements near the end, toward the outro, not quite the outro, but near the outro, that gave me some Iron Maiden vibes. They had some effect where they had, it was either a vocal or it might have been something else, but there was something was reversed, like it was recorded and then played in reverse. I think it was just some instrument or something like that. I'm not exactly sure. But that's cool too. When you notice things like that. So Durin's Bane is actually definitely one of the highlight tracks. That's track number 5 on the album.
Another thing I liked about that song is that the snare and I guess like part of the riff is actually emulating a Latin clave rhythm, which I found pretty cool, like a small little thing I noticed.
Yeah, and that's one thing that you did point out, and you also pointed out, I can't remember which song had the swing, and then there was also a song with a shuffle. Yeah, there was a swing.
Oh yeah, the shuffle happened in Master of Fate, track number 11. Now that song, I guess, is an interesting one, because this song is 17 minutes long.
17 unnecessary minutes.
So, now, we're kind of like on differing ends with this song. He completely hated it. I actually thought it was good, but could have been better. And a big part of why I thought it could have been better is that a similar issue with Durin's Bane is I feel like they padded a little bit of time. I felt that the song really could have ended at the 12-minute mark. You have all this stuff going on, crazy jamming, cool solos, like lots of good riffs, like lots of good stuff happening, and then you kind of had like this outro section, and then like 5 more minutes of stuff.
Yeah.
And then the actual outro itself is like 2 minutes long. So I feel like if you really just ended at the 12-minute mark, you got an awesome song there. But usually when you have songs that are like 17, 20-minute long songs, you kind of have them put together in a way that really tells a big story, and that's what makes them coherent and easier to listen to. But when you kind of have like a bunch of different stuff put together, especially after a lot of the album feeling like there's already a lot of filler, you kind of get to a point where it's like, is this done? You know, a song like that is usually a song that's just like kind of the grand finale of an album, and the fact that there's another song after that, albeit rather short, just kind of makes you feel like, why isn't it over?
You want to know what my biggest issue with it was? The track right before that, track number 10, The Even Star, is a 9-minute song that I felt that song was basically filler track.
I agree,
Because it basically felt like the rest of the album was just redone in this section. So to hear that 9-minute song and kind of get bored of it, and then see the next track starting at 17 minutes long, I wanted to skip it right away. I was done right at the beginning. But to the credit, I gotta give some silver lining here, because I don't want to just shit on this track or these 2 tracks. Putting this album on and having it on in the background, I think this would be glorious, because it would just, even just lying down and relaxing, this would be such a great album to just relax to. If you're reading a book, if you just want to doze off and fall asleep or whatever, you're doing a puzzle, whatever. This is one of those albums that you can just have on and you don't have to worry about anything. It's just easy listening, calming, soothing, very comforting.
Or if you're traveling. I think if you're like driving out somewhere, like just say I want to just go somewhere, right? Then this I think would be a great album to put on just as like scenery for yourself.
Maybe if you're a passenger, because as a driver I'd probably fall asleep.
Maybe, yeah.
I don't know.
Good point there.
I don't know.
If you're hiking, if you're going out in the woods, if you're doing all that kind of stuff, I feel like this would be a great album to put on, because it's very pretty, lots of nice sounds going on, very relaxing sounding. It's got some heavy stuff in there, but it is really sprinkled in. It's not. There's more focus on calm stuff than there is hard stuff. Yeah. And that's totally fine, and I'm cool with that, and I like a lot of the grooves and riffs. Yeah. But I also kind of feel like there were too many interlude tracks. There's 4 of them. Yeah. And honestly, I feel like the Even Star is an interlude on its own, because it's this 9-minute long instrumental that pretty much sounds the same as what the rest of them had. Yeah. The one I liked the most was track number 6, Leaving Hobbiton. I actually liked that track a lot. It was a really pretty piano piece.
It had the flute. That was the track.
Right. That was not the piano one.
Clarinet or...
It had the flute and the strings in it, and I really, really liked that.
Yeah.
So, that to me, I'm like, wow, this is like a really pretty track to put on. Like, I'd enjoy that, when I listened to it.
The piano one was number 8.
Right, Anatar.
Yeah.
And I liked that too, but not as much, because it didn't feel like it added much to the album. I did like the piano, it was pretty, but didn't add much. Yeah, so... Like I said, the album's an hour and 18 minutes long, 12 tracks.
We have each a page full of notes, but I think there's still a lot to unpack here.
For sure.
There's a lot to unpack. There's a lot to take in, and it's hard listening to an album that's this long and putting like direct focus on the whole thing.
Yeah.
The second half of the album was really hard to put focus on. I mean, the first half I got a lot more notes for because I'm into it. I'm like, okay, this, that. So, I don't know. I'm kind of in the middle on how I feel about this right now. I did enjoy it, but there was parts of it where I was just really just wanted it to end because it just dragged too long for me.
Yeah, I got mixed feelings.
That could change throughout the week. Once I get more familiar with it, I don't think that 17-minute song's ever gonna grow on me. I just disagree with songs that long. I find no purpose for things like that, but some people do, as TV Fish does. There's an audience for that kind of stuff, so my opinion is not the be-all, end-all. But that's why the both of us are on this channel. We have polar opposite opinions sometimes. I'm not a huge prog fan, and he is, so there you go, it balances out. But anyways, guys, we're gonna listen to this album for the entire week as much as we possibly can, and we'll be back next week to give you guys our full and final review of Splintered Light from Sindar. So be sure to like this video if you liked it. I implore you guys to check out this album. You guys probably never heard this band. Listen to it, check it out, give it a chance, and let us know in the comments down below what you guys think of it. That's it from us for now. I'm Vile Self.
I'm TV Fish.
We'll see you guys on the next video. Keep those heads banging.